Okay, so today we're diving into Lifetime Construction Group LLC.
Right.
They're a general contractor, and they're based in Pike County, Pennsylvania. And all the sources that we have on them really make it sound like they're the go-to people uh, in that area for really any kind of like building project.
Yeah, that seems to be the recurring theme, right? Is that
Yeah.
they've kind of got it all.
They do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And they work in a bunch of towns like Dingmans Ferry, Milford, and Hawley.
Hmm.
And the two guys behind the company are Jesse Griggs and Mike Ruts.
Yeah, and what really struck me looking at their backgrounds is just like the sheer amount of experience they have.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, you're talking decades in home building renovations,
Yeah.
even some pretty specialized areas of construction.
Yeah.
They've pretty much seen it all at this point, it seems like.
So I guess the big thing that we want to try to figure out today is, how do you build that kind of reputation?
Yeah.
Because, the construction industry doesn't always have the best reputation for, reliability.
Right. Well, and that's a good point because, we've all heard those horror stories, right, about
Mm.
projects that go way over budget
Oh, yeah.
or, they drag on forever or the work just isn't that great.
Right.
So how do you avoid those pitfalls and become, the company that everyone trusts?
Yeah, and especially in a specific area like Pike County, Pennsylvania.
Right. It's about building that local trust
Yeah.
and becoming like a pillar of the community.
So I think the first thing we should look at is like what their founding vision was. Like, how did they start?
Yeah. Well, it looks like from the beginning they were laser focused on quality,
Okay.
customer satisfaction, and making sure that the work they did would last.
So they weren't cutting corners.
No, it doesn't seem that way at all.
Okay.
It sounds like they were very intentional about setting a high standard right from the get-go.
So how did they like go about doing that? Because, saying that you're going to prioritize quality is one thing, but actually doing it is another.
Well, I think part of it was addressing those common pain points that we were just talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
The missed deadlines, the shoddy craftsmanship, the poor communication.
Yeah.
It seems like they made a conscious effort to be the opposite of that.
So they wanted to kind of change people's perceptions of what a general contractor could be.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it.
Okay.
They really wanted to elevate the industry standards, especially in Pike County.
So let's talk about what they actually do.
Sure.
Because they offer like a ton of services.
Yeah, the range is pretty impressive.
It is.
I mean,
Yep.
they handle everything from new home construction to like historical renovations.
Wow. So they can pretty much build you a house from scratch, or they can take an old house and restore it to its former glory.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And that's pretty rare to find a company that can do both of those things well.
Yeah, because you're talking about very different skill sets.
Exactly. You need expertise in modern building techniques, but also an understanding of historical preservation.
Right. So let's break down some of these services a little bit.
Okay, sounds good.
So they do new home construction, obviously. So what does that actually entail? Like, what do they do?
Well, from what I'm seeing, they're basically your one-stop shop for the entire process.
Okay.
They'll help you with the design, they'll manage the construction, they'll handle all the permits and inspections.
So you don't have to worry about coordinating a bunch of different contractors.
Exactly, they'll take care of
Oh,
everything.
right. That's pretty huge.
It is. It's very comprehensive service.
So then they also do home renovations and additions. So what kinds of things are we talking about there?
What runs the gamut, really?
Okay.
So, you mentioned kitchen upgrades, bathroom modernizations. Those are pretty common.
Mm-hmm.
But they also do things like adding 3-season rooms, finishing basements, creating home offices,
Okay.
really anything you can think of to improve or expand your living space.
And then they also handle some of the more essential things that every homeowner needs to deal with eventually.
Right. Things like roofing and siding.
Yeah, because those are like the first line of defense against the elements.
Exactly. And it sounds like they don't mess around when it comes to those things.
Okay.
The sources mentioned that they use top-tier solutions.
What does that mean?
Well, it probably means that they use high-quality materials and they have experienced installers.
Okay.
So, you can be confident that your roof is going to last and it's going to look good.
And then there's the custom woodworking, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of a unique offering.
It is.
It's not something you see every general contractor doing.
So what kinds of things do they do with the custom woodworking?
Well, it seems like it's mostly focused on things like custom cabinetry, built-in shelving, maybe some decorative elements.
Okay, so like really adding those personal touches to a space.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about making a home truly unique.
Now, you mentioned historical renovations earlier, and I know Pike County has a lot of old homes.
Yeah, there's a lot of history in that area.
So what's involved in doing a historical renovation?
Well, it's a lot more than just slapping on a fresh coat of paint. You have to be very careful to preserve the historical integrity of the structure.
Hmm.
So that means using appropriate materials and techniques and working closely with historical preservation experts.
Wow. So it's like a whole different ball game.
It really is. It's a very specialized field.
Okay. And then they do some things that you might not think of as being super glamorous, but they're absolutely essential.
Right, like septic system installation and maintenance.
Yeah, because that's not something you want to mess with.
No, you definitely want to make sure that's done properly.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they have a lot of experience in that area.
Okay. And then there's the excavating and site preparation.
Yeah, that's kind of the foundation of any construction project.
Yeah.
Literally.
Right. Because if you don't have a solid foundation, the whole thing can crumble.
Exactly. And it sounds like
Yeah.
they use advanced techniques to make sure that the site is properly prepared.
And I noticed that they also do dumpster rentals and debris removal.
Yeah, that's a nice convenience.
It is, because
Right.
who wants to deal with all that mess?
Exactly. It just makes the whole process a lot easier.
So it really seems like they've thought of everything.
It does seem that way.
Now they talk a lot about having a customer-centric philosophy. So what does that actually mean?
Well, it seems like it boils down to a few key things.
Okay.
First and foremost, they're all about transparent communication.
So like no hidden fees, no surprises.
Exactly. They'll give you a clear timeline and they'll be upfront about the costs.
And they're also big on attention to detail.
Yeah, they want to make sure that every aspect of the project is done to the highest standard.
Okay, so it's not just about getting the job done, it's about getting it done right.
Right, they're not cutting corners.
And they also offer reliable warranties and emergency services.
Yeah, which is really important because it shows that they stand behind their work.
Yeah.
They're not just going to disappear once the project is finished.
Now, something that really stood out to me was their connection to the Pike County community.
Yeah, they're not just some outside company coming in to make a quick buck. They're deeply rooted in the community. They're local members.
And they have those really strong relationships with local suppliers and real estate professionals and even the municipal authorities.
Yeah, which is really important because it means that they understand the local building codes and regulations.
Right?
They know how to navigate the permitting process.
And they're also involved in community initiatives and charitable efforts.
Yeah, they're giving back to the community that supports them.
So it's not just about business for them.
No, it seems like they genuinely care about the area.
Okay, so let's say someone in Pike County is looking for a general contractor. What are the key reasons why they might choose Lifetime Construction Group?
Well, I think the first thing is their proven expertise.
Okay.
They have decades of experience across a wide range of construction services.
So you're not getting someone who's just starting out.
Exactly. You're getting a team of seasoned professionals.
And their quality craftsmanship is obviously a big factor.
Yeah, they use superior materials and they pay meticulous attention to detail.
So you know you're getting a high-quality product.
And it's going to last.
And they're all about customer-focused service.
Yeah, they want to make the whole process as smooth and hassle-free as possible for you.
So it's not going to be a stressful experience.
Hopefully not.
And they offer those comprehensive solutions so you don't have to deal with a bunch of different contractors.
Right. They can handle everything from start to finish.
And they have that invaluable local knowledge.
Yeah, they understand the specific requirements of building in Pike County.
And they offer competitive pricing.
Yeah, you're getting high-quality work at a fair price,
And they're available for emergencies.
which is a huge plus.
It is, because you never know when something might go wrong.
Exactly. It's good to know that you have someone you can call.
So it really seems like they've got it all.
Yeah, it's hard to find a weakness.
So basically, if you're in Pike County and you need something built or renovated, Lifetime Construction Group should be at the top of your list.
I think that's a fair assessment.
All right, so to wrap things up, it sounds like Jesse Griggs and Mike Ruts have built something really special with Lifetime Construction Group.
Yeah, they've created a company that's built on experience, quality, and a genuine commitment to their clients and the community.
And I think their ability to handle both new construction and historical renovations is a testament to their versatility and their dedication to Pike County.
Yeah, they're not afraid to tackle any project, big or small.
So we've talked a lot about the importance of clear communication and customer satisfaction in the construction industry, but I want to open it up to you listening.
Okay.
When you're dealing with any kind of service-based business, what are the things that really matter to you? What are the things that build trust and make you feel like you're in good hands?
Yeah,
What are your non-negotiables?
good question.
It is, and I think it's something that we all need to think about because we all rely on service providers in some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely.
So I encourage you to take some time to reflect on your own experiences and maybe share your thoughts with us on social media.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
All right, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Lifetime Construction Group LLC.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.